All right, guys, now that we're getting ready to use our site model into design project, you've worked on your class diagram and all that stuff. We're going to talk about kind of what the next step would be. And so I think the next step I want you guys to follow is to create, open up a new project. And what we're going to do is we're going to import the class model that I've provided to you into this. And there's a couple reasons that I would do that. Because it's a pretty stable environment, and that you really, you might be changing a little bit to do with the curtain wall. For the most part, 90% of that model is not changing. So I think you'd be better off to link it, and I'll just show you how to do it. So I'm going to link that under Jefferson into this, and it'll just mean a slight different way of working. What that means is that you know that that piece, you can pin it, you can make sure that nothing really changes. You can still, the full thing's in there. You see it, you can, navigate around it, work on the visuals any way that you need to, but it's going to remain stable. And so now when you work on your design, you're just editing that. Now, but there's a couple of new things that you'll need to know in order to operate like this. And those are, so if I'm, let's just go in here, I'm making some moves, building some stuff, I can still attach very carefully to the model. That's not a problem. It's still kind of an active thing. All the things that I would normally snap to are available to me. But let's say that then, down the road, you decide that, if given your project, that you want to put doors into this. So how would you do that? So the way to do that is that you can edit this kind of separately, and basically just kind of save what you're doing in here. I'll just do this as a list. For you, it'd be the design. And what you're going to find is like, okay, well, now I want to go change, Jefferson, appropriately. So I'm going to go in and do that, and you'll get this. The model is linked into one or more open documents. Do you want to proceed? I'm going to say no right now, because what I'm going to do, I want to show you kind of where all this is happening. So if you close all this stuff, you'll find that now you have a Revit links, and that's where this is held. So if you want to kind of do, edit this on the fly, one, you could, and a lot of people do, you would unload it, go work on that file, then reload it, and well, bada boom, bada bang, you're good to go. That's a few more steps than I think you probably want. So the other way to do it is just to start another Revit session. And then in that Revit session, you can open up this file, and essentially it doesn't really know that there's a conflict. So it's not concerned, and it will no longer give that error message. So I'm just going to go into that real quick. Make sure I'm opening up the right one. So I don't know what it would be that I'd be editing. Let's just imagine that somehow, for whatever reason, I've added another tree over here. I'm going to save this. And I'll go back into my other session. And then right here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to have it reload. We should see the tree that pops up right here. Apparently, we may have opened up the wrong one. Yep, I did. So I should have opened up that one. So if you happen to do that, it's pretty easy to relink it to something else and then boom, it shows up. So that's just going to how you're going to operate. And what this does is it kind of keeps a lot of the heavy lifting from the file as far as the file. It makes that your design file is a lot lighter because all it's doing is linking the existing. So all that kind of that chunk of the model is not consuming so much space. You can also kind of then link your design into, if you need to have the information in the Jefferson model, you can link your design model into it and so then update that. And so you can, maybe there's some kind of really clever, kind of very specific opening that you need to make according to a design decision, where you can link each one into each one so that you can see that information as you're making your moves. This will become pretty important, I think, in how you're going to use Twinmotion and the way that it wants you to work. So I think you all should be going into that. Okay, that's linking Revit models.